Hello, welcome to the show. I apologize for the audio quality. The bugs are out in force today. So we need to replace the harmonic balancer here. As you can see in here, it's just moves around on its own. So we ordered a new part from the Amazon. Now we're going to get it replaced. So what we got to do is we got to loosen this up. Got to get this belt replaced anyway, because it's all foobarred. Look how chopped up that is. Hopefully they got something like that at the local auto parts place. Then we got to take off this. We're probably gonna take a look at that AC pump while we're down here, and get that all loosened up, which that's another fun thing to have to get dirty getting into. We might just end up chopping that for now and then coming back. And we're going to take this off, get to that harmonic balancer, pull it off, put the new one on, and get going. Alright, be right back. The hatchet, because I don't believe in hammers. We whacked it up against there, we moved it off, we got the belt off. As you can see, it's a good thing we got the belt off. It probably wasn't going to disintegrate on us this week, but it's no bueno. So, also you can see my little dollop of goo there. That's not actually from me. We piped in here the grease into this fitting here for the ball joint, and it didn't seem like it wanted to come out, and I guess it got excited while we were doing the hammering, and it all just decided to climax all over the floor. So now we got to figure out how to loosen up the AC compressor, and then we can take that belt off and get to work. It looks like someone may have removed a bolt up there. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hard to tell. Might be a bolt missing up there anyway, but it looks like the bolt we got to remove is right there, and that's going to be a pain in the ass to get to. Alright, so let's hit it with the hatchet. What we decided to do is we just undid the belt, or this bit here, the pulley, I guess is what that's technically called. And then we just took the belt off. As you can see, that's what was going on. Ooh, thought that was a bug for a second. It's just more of the engine coming on me. That's interesting. It looks like someone may have been in here before. Some sort of metal in there, and as you can see, it was bucking up against the top of the engine there, causing some wear. All this, I know it looks like rust. It's not quite rust. It's literally just from the engine coolant coming down and kind of creaming the engine. So we're gonna get some engine degreaser before we put this back together, and now might be a good time to actually just hit with the degreaser and hit with the spray can, just to give it an extra bit of protection. So I think we'll do that. And I will be right, well, we probably have to hit it with the high temp stuff, I would imagine. Oh yeah, the water pump feels good, it feels like it's working. This definitely needs to come off. We're going to go get our puller, pull this out, and then put the new one in, and then we'll be right back. Alright, so success. We got the harmonic balancer out all the way, so that's good. So we did make a mistake. We ran this through the middle. I guess it's supposed to have a little protector on the end. We did manage to kind of F up the threading there. Hopefully not too much damage. Well, when we put the new one on, we'll see. I ran the threads back through and nothing binds when we put it back, so hopefully we're good to go. Otherwise, big issue. Alright, so we cleaned it up a little bit in here. Just hit it with some rust base solvent just in case, but we're out of that anyway. So as you can see, it wasn't rust like I thought it wasn't rust, but it's a nice little preventative measure just in case anything decides to come live in here. So it's very basic, you know, acids and bases. I guess I should explain that. So acids are above 7, bases are below 7, and they have different effects on bodies. So, you know, like acids attack muscle, bases attack bone. So it, you know, don't get it on you. Yeah, so we're just trying to hit this with something to kind of seal in all the, we're gonna have to go into the nooks and crannies here with some air and blow it out, but we're gonna just hit it with some air and some paint just to kind of keep it clean and tidy down here since we're in here anyway. So you might as well hit the down here with some of that stuff too, because that is actually rust. And here, I'll show you the difference. So like this, cleaned up, you can tell it's good metal. Oops, sorry for my finger in the photo. Look at that. Like that. You can tell where it's trying to eat away. Super close-up shots. But it doesn't really have an effect on the bumpy bits, as you can see. So, like, there's a definite difference between that. That's metal that's being treated, that's being eaten away, and that's metal that's good. So, I'll just hit it with this, let it soak in for a bit, and then we'll hit everything with some nice paint. Alright, so here's the new harmonic balancer. Here's the old harmonic balancer. You can tell. Look at that. That's not supposed to happen. Oh, look, that actually works. So, what we have to do is we have to figure out where that timing mark is supposed to be on this. Because the one that's on here is no good. So, the traditional way of doing this is taking a hacksaw, cutting in a spot, and then painting it in. I don't have a hacksaw. I know that's weird. I got a sawzall, and I don't really want to take a sawzall to this because that could cause a lot more damage than need be. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take some tape of a different color, probably bright and shiny, and put it on there and go with that. So we hit the engine with some paint. A little thing right there is a glove blocking the orifice. We just touched it up a little bit, like, it looks weirder on camera than it does in real life, but just hit it with paint just so it locks in that base. We're gonna do an oil pan change, I think, anyway. We'll see. So we'll eventually hit that with some paint, but I don't know what we're gonna do with it until then. So that's an easy enough thing to do with the engine fully back up in the car. So this needs to be done now. So we're gonna do it now. Unfortunately, I forgot what I did with the other belt, but we're going to have to go to the auto parts store. We got to get synchro mesh for the transmission anyway, so we're going to go to the auto parts store, see if they got a belt. But first things first, we're going to put this on. Decided. I don't know where the timing mark is supposed to be on here because internet forums are a terrible thing with people who just like to yell at each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on there because it works, and we know it matches and it rotates right. If timing ever becomes an issue, we're going to get in here and we're going to rotate this to top dead center, put it in a new timing mark, and then we'll go from there. I think that's the best thing to do. Alright, let's just get to it. So the harmonic balancer is back in. Look at that. It's got the thing going on. We also managed to get the clutch back in. The clutch in and the transmission back on. We got to reconnect everything. We made a boo-boo and broke it. But we'll see. We're covering some vacuum lines. I'm not getting a crank, or I'm not hearing the fuel pump when I crank it. It'll start up with some starter fluid, but it won't stay on. So I'm gonna have to figure out why that's happening. Other than that, fairly successful. I whacked myself with a hatchet. Pretty good. Put in the harmonic balancer back on because I don't like to use the right tools for the right job. So that was why long delay. Hard to use that hand. But yeah, well, we're going to try and replace the fuel filter, and we're going to try and mess around with it and get this thing back on all four wheels, and hopefully it'll happen. Alright, so the car's not firing up, even with starter fluid. We had a big bad backfire, so that's why we had to use that. So that was not good. So what we're going to do, when we get in here, we can hear the fuel pump run when we apply power. It comes on during crank. So we had some fuel pressure buildup. So I just don't know what's going on with this motor. So we're just we know we're getting air. We know we're getting spark. Now we just got to figure out, because it'll fire up and it'll run for a few seconds on starter fluid, so we're obviously missing fuel. So we've done the fuel pump. We know the fuel pump's working. We know the fuel filter, we just did that. That's new and working. So we're going to see if the injectors are bad. So we have to take off the upper intake plenum, which thankfully I thought we had to dig all the way down deep into here to get to these injectors, but right there, we got to take off this little bar here to access them. And there's a cold air system going in here. And a lot of this stuff just runs with vacuum, and it's very annoying. So like this is controlled electronically, and then but it gets its sensors from the air here. So there's just a lot of crap that doesn't need to be as complicated as it is. But we'll see. I really don't want to have to resort to swapping out this thing before it's necessary. So we'll see. All right. Check back in a minute.